Fifi Mangaka here. Today, we're drawing expression sheets. All of those little wrinkles, smiles, dips, curves that take your character out of the beautiful comfort zone of a fully rendered illustration. We're drawing them with a slight twist, so throw away everything you think you know about expression sheets. We're starting from scratch, peeps. You've probably seen these expression sheets. They're expression challenge templates, and they get you into the swing of practicing various emotions for your characters. Super good for practice. But there's one major issue with these, and if you're too used to drawing expressions using one of these as a guide, you may fall into this trap like I did. They almost become a checkbox for emotions that your character must, should, and absolutely need to have. And while that's not like the end of the world, obviously, it traps you into a sort of box where you can't express your character authentically without neatly fitting the expression into one of these literal boxes. We're going to discuss an alternate way to create expression sheets where you lead with your character's personality, not a checklist of emotions. Let's do it. Expression sheets are references for how a particular character uses their face to express a particular emotion. With that in mind, it's important to remember that not every single character expresses the same kind of emotions. Some characters, like my character Rue here, are naturally more anxious and uncertain, and this should be clear in her expression. Some more confident characters will never express this emotion at all. Now, before you say, wait, Fifi, everybody gets anxious, so what's the point of highlighting this? While I don't disagree that everyone gets nervous, expression sheets, in my view, should highlight the dominant emotions for certain characters. The sheet should get to the heart of some major essence of the character's personality. We should think of expression sheets as the place to bring all of the character's traits we've drafted up to life, and the traits that are individual to each character. If we keep this in mind when drawing, our own character's personality will reveal to us how they'll choose to express themselves visually. I think this definitely beats the checkbox approach because rather than letting a list of common expressions dictate what we want to emote, we'll let what we know about our characters dictate their expressions. If you're working on an action comic, graphic novel, or shonen-styled manga, take everything I just told you and park it away somewhere in your brain for a second. Before you groan, hear me out. Action comics and manga have a slightly distinct consideration where there is one expression that's absolutely necessary, and that is the intense battle face expression. I just made that name up on the spot. If you're drawing action scenes, you absolutely need to know what this character's face is going to look like in the heat of battle, when they're fighting a tough enemy and struggling, or any other action-oriented expression. This is one of those checkbox things. Sorry friends, I don't make the rules. The importance with this one is that the fighting facial expression has some important considerations that other facial expressions don't. Your character may be grimacing because they're using all of their energy and becoming winded. You may have to draw the eye in a really strange and unorthodox way to portray this. They may be shocked that they've just used all of their strength for a move that did absolutely nothing to their opponent. How do you show this unique shock in their eye? It's not something that you'll typically draw. Or a character may have a very distinct and uniform hairstyle that you draw in a very particular way all of the time, but it's not glued to their head. So what does it look like when they're in action and moving around and there's supposed to be wind blowing through their hair? With the introduction of physical conflict and action, these all become important expressions to include on your sheet if you're telling a story where action is relevant. Okay, pull that stuff back out of that compartment in your brain and let's continue to the last consideration in Fifi's alternate approach to character sheets ramble. Characters don't exist in a vacuum, and certain expressions may only come out from one character if another character is present. My character Solomon Vex gets grilled out by Rue like a lot. He's a bit reckless, and that type of personality would naturally clash with her cautious and anxious personality. For Vex, this is a very unique expression that I will probably only draw when he's getting a tongue lashing from Rue. To portray that on my sheet here, I want to draw that little scene that'll happen frequently because it demonstrates an emotional dynamic between two of my characters. I believe that this sort of interaction should absolutely be on a character expression sheet. Not only does it serve as a useful reference to you, the artist, but others looking at your sheet will immediately understand a dynamic between two characters without having to read anything. It's a great way to demonstrate characterization between characters. If you're working with others on your story, other writers or artists, this can be super helpful during the development phase for everyone to get a better understanding of how all of your characters interact with one another. Well, friends, we've made it to the end, and that's all I've got for this video. I hope this different approach to character expression sheets gives you interesting things to consider when you're next drawing yours. If you've got any tips on expression sheets, drop them below so we can all try different approaches and see what works best for us. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, or maybe even hitting up Ye Olde Ko-fi page and showing some love to Ye Olde Treehouse, my manga that I'm working on. And as always, I hope you have an absolutely lovely day, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye!